Hey there wonderful viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm diving into the wonderful world of fermenting. Now if you're new to fermenting, this has got to be the simplest ferment that you can do. And so here I'm talking about fermenting garlic in raw honey. And the reason that it's so simple is that you literally only need 2 ingredients. You don't need to sterilize anything. But there are a couple of rules that are just as simple. You need organic garlic and you need raw honey. And that's literally it. So let's get started. All you're going to need for this, like I said, is your garlic and then your honey and a choice of a jar. Now fair warning, whatever jar you choose is going to smell of this forever. So choose wisely. Also, this is a ferment, so it is going to create a gas. Now, this is why I prefer to use a Kilner jar and a rubber band. So I'll show you what that's for later. This jar is the one that I keep in my kitchen. So when it's ready, all I do is transfer some into here so that it doesn't take up too much space, but also because this is the jar that I started in, and trust me, once you start making this stuff you won't be able to stop. But you can, if you want, use a jar like this. All you have to remember is to not close it tight. And you'll have to keep doing what's burping it, and you'll understand why when you do that, because it goes psh every time you unscrew the lid. And again, it's going to stink out your kitchen because this does really smell very strongly of garlic until it's finished the fermenting. Also, the pickle pipes that you can get for other ferments, they're no good for this because this produces a lot of gas and very quickly, depending on how much garlic you're using, but also on the quality of it. My garlic is not my homegrown garlic this year, sadly, because the last time I grew mine, it suffered very badly for the first time ever with allium leaf miner. So I didn't grow any last year for this year. To give the soil chance to get rid of it all. And so this is bought. Choose the best quality product that you can. You don't want anything that's moulding, anything that's already trying to sprout. But the newer your garlic is, the more juicy it will be and the more gas it will produce quickly. So it's very sticky already. These are great, but you will need to leave some headroom in it for that gas, and that's what we're going to do today. You'll also want a saucer or a dish to put this in, because as that gas creates, it will push the honey up, and so it will leach out and crawl all over your kitchen, otherwise it makes a sticky mess. Use the best quality honey you can get, and so you want it raw. The pasteurised stuff, it's had all the goodness killed out of it. So mine is from Little Over Apiaries. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they do fantastic honey, and they do all different kinds of honey. This is Acacia. I've had their wildflower honey, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now the thing about this is that it is a ferment, and so we want to promote good bacteria. That's why you're not going to sterilize your jars, and the bacteria and the ferment are going to feed on the sugars. It does lower the carb count, but of course it is still honey, and it is still going to have quite a high carb count. If you're a diabetic or anything like that, I do suggest you check that out, but you can find commercial products with the actual carb counts on this, so I suggest you do your own research for that. So I'm just going to put this aside and show you what you need to do to the garlic. Now, to get this ferment really activating, you're going to need one of two ways to do this. Either a broad blade knife, so that you can bash your garlic like that and put it in, or if you're really like me and you've got the dexterity of nonsense, and also very damaged hands, which doing that all the time would cause a lot of pain, there's a different and much quicker way to do this. So I'll show you. I'll be back in a second. Instead of doing it with the knife, unless you've done that to peel your garlic, which you might have done, pull your garlic in a bag, get a handy dandy rolling pin and gently bash it instead. And what's going to take you ages with a knife will now have taken you mere seconds with a rolling pin. Not only that, but you then get to bring your jar. You've got all your garlic in a bag, and you get to just pour it straight into your jar. Much easier. So long as it don't get stuck in the handles. And then all you have to do is pour your honey in. Now I am going to use my jar funnel for this because, again, not the most dexterous person. And so all you do, pour in. Now I'm just going to let that drip a moment. Like that. The thing about this is that you might be wondering, once you've made this, can you add more garlic or another ferment to it later? Well, this is going to be really fresh and it's going to start fermenting really quickly. If I wanted to add more garlic to this in the next few days, I can do that. But what I can't do is I can't add fresh garlic to an old ferment because it's not going to work. And also, you might be adding something into an old ferment that would spoil it. However, once this is finished fermenting, I can add a finished ferment into an older one that's already done finished. So all I need to do now is take the end of a wooden spoon and just stir this. I'm just leaving that on there just to get the bubbles out. And what you're going to see is that the garlic is going to float to the top of this. And it's going to be like this for some days. And so what you're going to want to do is give it a bit of a shake, not too much, just to keep that garlic covered so that it doesn't start moulding on the top. And now I'm going to show you what the elastic band is for. So remove that. So even though these can act like self-burping jars, I don't actually like to trust that. And so all I do is I just put my elastic band around here so that nothing can get into it. Sorry, that's just my computer shutting down. And there, I do that. So it will actually self-burp. So if I forget, which I'm likely to do because of my health conditions, I don't actually have to worry about this now. I've also got plenty of space in here that it's unlikely that the honey will escape out of it. All I've got to do is keep it in a coolish place. My kitchen is north facing. I usually keep mine in here, and this will now just nurdle away for quite some time. In fact, I probably won't touch this for more than a year because I have plenty that's ready. And the reason that I make so much is because it's actually the garlic that we use, not so much the honey, which is what we actually give away to other people. So as you can see, the bubbles will still rise out of this for quite a while, but the honey will sit underneath. If you end up with older honey that crystallizes but it is raw, just use a bain-marie and just gently warm the honey up until it reliquidizes. That honey is perfectly fine to use, but the cheap honey that you get off the shelf in the supermarkets that's been pasteurized, don't use that. It hasn't got all the good properties in it. But now this can sit. But isn't it gorgeous? So there you go. This is absolutely fantastic for boosting your immunity and your health. So I hope you give it a go. If you do, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you use it for, because it's fantastic for dressings, like I mentioned, barbecue sauce. And as I've said, we use the cloves for roasting on our veggies. And but you can just eat this with a spoon. So I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. I hope you give it a try. I hope you'll like and subscribe to the channel, because it helps the algorithms and it helps me out. It helps me to get YouTube to share it to other people so that they'll see it. And I hope you'll come back and watch some other things. If you've got anything that you would like me to do, if I've done it before or if I can do it, I'll certainly try and give it a go. And bye for now.